Hello and welcome to episode 149 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is how to become the expert. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now guys, today I've got a special episode for you. I go live on Facebook with my good friend and buddy Russel Brunson, and we literally talk about his new book. I'm sure you've seen it floating around. I'm sure you've seen and heard of The Expert Secrets, but I'm just more curious as to how you can use it to apply it to your business so that you can start growing. Now, we go and deep dive inside of this book to figure out what you need to do today. There's 3 things that you need to do right at this very moment in time. And if you listen to this is quite an interesting one as we break down the 3 things to get traction and gain and really get your own movement. So with that being said, I'm going to splice the live video in, and I really enjoy it. And once again, if you're going to take me up on that really, really cool special offer, then hit me up and we'll go on from there. Enjoy this one, guys. I'm with one of my good friends, one of my good mentors, Russel Brunson. How you doing today, my man?
Awesome, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. And this guy was on live with Tony Robbins yesterday. So we've got a really, really good one for you today, fitness pros. Now, today I brought Russel on because right at this very moment in time, I speak to over 5,000 personal trainers inside of my group, fitness professionals who are broke. And it's so sad because you guys have the ability to change the world. And you guys have the skills, the talents, the knowledge. But unfortunately, you guys are stuck inside of a commodity market, which means supply and demand is not skewed inside of your favor. And so over the last year, I've been working with Russel Brunson. I've paid him a ton of money, over tens of thousands of dollars, which is absolutely right? But what he's recently done is he's helped him make 100x that return on investment. And for you guys today, he's put it all inside of his book, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know if I should be upset, Russell, because I don't know, I should have just got this book, right? But no, with that being said, I want you to tell fitness professionals, because a lot of the times it's like, well, I got this book, I've got .com secrets, I'm listening to your stuff on ClickFunnels, but I'm not sure how it applies to me. It works for you, Russell, because you're Russell. It works for Lynn because he's Lynn. But I don't know, how can you apply expert secrets to you today? Kind of introduce that and let's get on. Yeah, let's do it.
I love it. So what you mentioned, the word commodity is huge because most people are in commodity business. And so think about it. I talk about this with chiropractors or dentists and now with trainers, same thing. Why does someone come to you versus everybody else? And sometimes that's hard to say because you're a commodity, right? And it's but you know you're not. You know you have something special, but it's people don't see that because right now for them they're like, well, he's $50 an hour, that guy's $40, that guy's, and they're it comes down to when you're a commodity, people are fighting to the lowest price, which is the worst place to be in business. One of my first mentors, Dan Kennedy, he told me that if you can't be the lowest price leader, then there's no strategic advantage of being the second lowest. So that means you want to be the highest instead. So how do you make it so that you're so valuable that people will pay you 10x, 100x what they pay everybody else for that thing? And it comes down to this, to the positioning, to how you position yourself, how you tell your stories, all those kind of things. One of our members is a financial planner, and he does the same financial planning that everybody else in the world does, but he's positioned himself as an expert. And so what happens now is people will jump in a plane, they'll fly clear across the United States of America, they'll pass 30 states and 5,000 or 6,000 financial planners, land over here, pay this guy 10 times more, and he's doing the exact same thing. Just because he's positioned himself as an expert, they trust that person versus everybody else. And so that's the key that I think you guys are going to get from the expert secrets thing is how to position, how to brand yourself in a way that makes you so much more valuable than everybody else around you.
Absolutely. And Russell, we talk about niching down a lot inside the fitness space. I think fitness and making money online are probably the 2 most competitive spaces online, right? So it's fantastic because you can look at that to see where the trends are going. But unfortunately, right at this very moment in time inside of fitness, you have to do more than niching down or niching down. You run that through your book fantastically, and you talk about creating this movement. Do you want to go deeper into that? Because I think that is pure gold. That's kind of what you've done. That's kind of what I've done. That's kind of what a lot of experts that are crushing it. They don't even have to be good at marketing. They don't have to be good at writing sales copy, doing all the sales tactics. When you have what you're teaching here, creating the movement, things just flow so much better. And I think this is really, really important.
Yeah, so it's funny when I launched our company ClickFunnels, it was something kind of similar. Like we created this thing. It was a software company, but like that's kind of boring. It's just it's website builders, tons of website builders, right? So I was like, well, how do I compete? Like I don't have as much money as the other guys. Like I was competing against people that have hundreds of millions of dollars in like venture capitalist money. I'm like, I can't compete there. I got to figure out a way to like how do I get people and customers to come to us? And it was interesting about that time I was at this event, and it was a network marketing event, but it was selling the software thing. And I'm in this room with 6,000 people. I'm sitting in the back just kind of watching what's happening. And I see these people like they're jumping around, they're screaming, there are people on stage crying, everyone's telling their stories. And I'm so confused. I was like, I thought they were selling software. And my buddy sitting next to me looked at me, he said, they're not selling software here. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they've created a movement. And I was like, I had the light bulb in my head. And I was like, well, how do they do that? Like, I want to create a movement. That sounds way more exciting than selling software, or selling personal training, or selling, whatever that thing is. Yeah. So I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, who's created movements? I'm a big believer in modeling. That's what Tony Robbins taught me, right? Find whoever's the best and model them. So first I look at like Steve Jobs with Apple. I was like, hey, what did he do to create this movement? Like, why do people go nuts over these phones even now when he's, all these years later, what happened there? And then I looked at Tesla and Elon Musk. Why are people so obsessed with these cars? And then I looked at, started looking at political movements. Like, why are people like? When I was writing this book, it was in the middle of the elections here in the States, which I'm sure everyone saw. It was nuts. Like it was this huge polar thing, and there's people going both ways. And I was like, what's causing all these things? And then I started looking at religious movements and cults and everything in between. And as I was doing that, I was realizing like all these movements, they all have. There's a pattern that all of them have. It took me a while, and all of a sudden, I saw the pattern. And I was like, there it is. As soon as I saw the pattern, it's weird. Patterns are cool. As soon as you're aware of it, then it's like, now I know how this works. Now you can take those things and you can like amplify them and turn them up. And so for me, the movement, or like the pattern I saw that all these movements had, I'll show you here in the book. It's on the first page because I got so excited. I want to share it with you.
It's the most important thing. It really is. It's like, once you get this, it's the game's over. The game's all over.
As soon as I realized this, so these are the three pieces. I'll kind of share them really quick if I can. There's the charismatic leader, there's the future-based cause, and there's the new opportunity. And the book will walk through all these things, but I was aware of them. I was like, that's what they are. And at the time, I was like, well, I'm kind of doing that, but I'm not doing either of those. I was like, well, how do I do that? And at first, it was just kind of like an idea, like a strategy, like, okay, I know I need to have a future-based cause. What does that mean? How do I create that? And so I would try a whole bunch of things, and some things didn't work, and some things worked really good. And then Lynn, you're my inner circle. And then I shared all the inner circle members. They go out and start doing them. And they're like, this is working like crazy. I'm like, all right. So the cool thing is that we talk about like, here's the strategy behind it in the book. But then inside the book, it's like, and here's how I did it. And here's how so-and-so did it. And so it gives you like practical ideas you can then take and just kind of take and plug into your own businesses. That same kind of happening for yourself.
Russell, it is so, so powerful. And I know how powerful it is because I've not only implemented inside of my business, but health and fitness experts, Kaylin and Brandon, have done that for Lady Boss and like run me through like for a personal trainer, for a fitness professional. What are they doing right now? Because they're literally holding this as literally their Bible, their marketing Bible and their strategy Bible, and kind of walk through kind of their success. Because I know so many fitness professionals are going to relate. And if they do this, this could be what is possible.
Yeah. They're one of my favorite stories. In fact, when you go to the page to get your book, if you scroll down, there's the first video there is Kaylin telling her story, kind of showing.
So cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And so what's interesting is they were in some other program selling some stuff and kind of collapsed around them. And they woke up one day and it was gone. Like their whole business was gone. They were broke. And like, what do we do? I don't know what to do. And but the new thing that they knew is they were good. Like they were good at what they did. They were good at, Kaylin's amazing, like helping women and transforming their bodies and stuff like that. And so they had a couple options. One is, they could go back to being a trainer. They could do other things, and they decided like, well, let's create a product and let's sell it and let's build a movement around it. About that time, they actually sent me a video. This is before I met him. I just got a video. They sent this in my office, and it was them. And they're like, "Hey, we're completely broke, but we love what you're doing, and we're gonna be your biggest success story." And I was like, I get those sometimes. Like,
okay, you get that every day. You get that from me every morning, brother.
Almost there, man. You're catching it. It's cool. No, but so they put it out there, and then a year later, they came on my events, and Brandon pulled me aside. He's like, dude, we've been following everything you said to a T. He's like, right now we're doing $80,000 a month. And I was like, holy crap! Like, good for you guys. Like, I didn't know that. And then they jumped in their circle, and then over the last, they've been in it for a year now, and it's been insane. Like, they started doing, and I shared their story in the book. Like, this book, like, first off, it teaches you how to position yourself, and then it shows you guys the sales process that I use that they use, that you, like everyone, like it's this thing called a perfect webinar. I literally go slide by slide by slide in this perfect webinar. And so what got them from zero to about $80,000 a month is they were doing the webinar once a week, every single week, consistently, like clockwork. And then that was working really, really good. And then during that process, like Kaylin found her voice. She became really good at explaining what she did and why she did it, and started building her movement, all these things that we're talking about. And then she took it from being just an offline webinar to starting like Facebook Lives. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share the numbers. Maybe you can, but it's insane. They did over 7 figures last month in a month from one Facebook Live. Like it's amazing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So fitness pros, like, definitely, if you're having a little bit of doubt of why this might not work with you, it's worked for me, it's worked for Kaylin, it's worked for a lot of fitness professionals and a small minority. So right now, you guys have the power to go out there and help change people's lives, help obesity, really help them, not just talk about helping them, not releasing another product, but creating a movement where you're empowering them to change. So with that being said, guys, like Russell, this is on you for free, my man, I hear. Like, you're just doing so well, you're giving it away free. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, we're at launch right now, and I'm trying to sell as many as we can. So I pre-bought about 50,000 copies. We sold 30,000 in the first 2 weeks, and they're going fast. Wow. I prepaid for the copies. If you guys just cover the shipping, I think it's $7.95 in the US and like $12.95 international. I will ship this thing out to you, and there's no strings, there's no like tricky things. Just you get the book and read it, and hopefully, if you implement what it says, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, it will change your life. I promise you that. But number 2, and this is way more important, it's going to give you the tools to help change a ton more people's lives. And I don't know about you, but like when I had my own results, like it was exciting and I celebrated. It was really, really cool. But like the first time I got results for somebody else and I helped them, like that was so much cooler. I know you felt the same way, right? Where like your own successes are cool and like it's exciting. But man, you see someone else take what you showed them and they have success with it. It's the best.
Yeah, you give them that feeling that you first got when you knew what was possible. And that feeling is just, it's absolutely amazing. And guys, you've got the strategy here. So Russell's going to run you through the strategy of building your tribe, building your movement. If you guys get this book using the link above, I think it's expertsecrets.com/Lynn, I'm also going to, and you need to send me a receipt. Okay, I'm also going to throw in the hybrid masterclass, 6-week hybrid masterclass training where I was able to make $66,000 in 6 weeks inside of the gym, building my online movement and using this hybrid method model. And I'm also going to give you access to the Online Trainers Summit, the VIP pass, that $497 value, and as well as the 6-week course. Now, with that being said, these 2 products are currently off the shelf. You cannot buy them. You have to be inside of my highest level program Legacy in order to get access. So if you want that, go get Russell's free book. He's covered the book. You get the shipping. Send me the receipt, and I'm going to hook you up. So with this and with my course, there is no excuse for you not to go out there to change the world. Russell, my man, thank you so much. When are we catching up next, man?
Soon we're going to be in Kenya together here in a couple months, which is exciting.
That's going to be absolutely awesome. But dude, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate your time. And guys, go get the book. Go order it now. Like, do whatever you can. I've literally paid $25,000 and I'm going back and I've got like 3 copies of this. I've got a really big copy that Russell sent out to me in A4 and I'm just like highlighting. I'm like, oh my God, every word, every sentence is gold. But that's the thing. It's only gold if you really take it with energy and heart and you know that it's going to change your life. And I know that every page inside of this book is pure gold. So, Russell, thank you so much for writing it. It's absolutely amazing, my man. It's changed my life, and I know it's going to help change so many more.
Awesome. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me share this with the audience. You guys, I cannot wait for you to get the book. And this was fun. So thanks for letting me share this with the audience. Appreciate it.
Awesome, brother. Have a fantastic day. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.